the award-winning News 6 investigators. Weekdays on News 6. Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 4 p.m.
We are following the latest turn in the urgent search for missing 13-year-old girl Madeline Soto. The sheriff says her mother's boyfriend is now the prime suspect in her disappearance. He refused to face a judge earlier today. This is News 6 at 4. I'm Lisa Bell.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. Julie is off today. Investigators say Stephen Stearns dropped Madeline off near her school, Hunters Creek Middle, Monday morning, and that was the last time anyone saw her. Now Stearns is facing charges as law enforcement expand their efforts to find Madeline.
So we have News 6's Catherine Silver and Mike DeForest following the latest developments live for us at this hour. We do want to begin with Catherine. She's live at the Orange County Jail where Stearns is sitting right now.
Today, we're learning that the search for Maddie Soto has expanded to Sarasota County. Northport police tell us they are assisting with this investigation and that Stephen Stearns used to live there. It is another piece of the puzzle as detectives work to find out what happened to this young girl. So we know that they have searched Hunters Creek and they've also searched Maddie's home, which is in Kissimmee. The sheriff told us that they will go anywhere they have a lead. And today we know that that includes the Sarasota area. We'll let you know what else we find out. For now, I'm live in Orange County. Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
Catherine, thank you. And we are getting brand new information about the man authorities call the prime suspect in Madeline Soto's disappearance. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest joins us now with that part of our team coverage. So, Mike, what are you learning about him?
Well, Lisa, we just got a copy of the arrest affidavit for Stephen Stearns. Now, again, his girlfriend is Madeline Soto's mother. Right now, Stephen Stearns is being held in the Orange County Jail on charges of sexual battery and possession of child pornography. Now, as is standard law enforcement practice, authorities have not identified who the victim of that sexual battery might be. Detectives say they found the child pornography on Stearns' cell phone after he voluntarily handed it over. Now, since much of the arrest report is blacked out, it's unclear if Stearns himself might also appear in those images, but the report suggests those images may be evidence of his sexual battery. According to the arrest report, Stearns told detectives he, quote, accidentally performed a factory reset on his cell phone the same day the teenager was reported missing. That was yesterday. Now, Stearns reportedly told investigators he dropped Soto off at a church yesterday morning that's about less than a quarter mile from Hunters Creek Middle School where she attends. And as my colleague Catherine Silver just reported, it's not unusual for parents of middle schoolers to drop their children off at that church, but what was unusual, according to investigators, is that Soto did not stay in communication with family and friends after being dropped off at the church. Authorities say she never made it to school. Investigators say they've obtained data from a license plate reader that places Stearns' vehicle at some undisclosed location. But again, since the report's blacked out, we don't know if it corroborates or contradicts the story that Stearns told police. Now, like everyone who's arrested, Stearns was scheduled to appear before a judge this morning. According to the judge, though, Stearns refused to be brought into the jailhouse courtroom. Authorities say Stearns requested a lawyer last night and has not provided any information helpful to finding Soto. Lisa and Matt.
All right, Mike DeForest reporting for us in our newsroom. Thank you. Again, the search is continuing for Madeline Soto. You can help get the word out by sharing her photo and the information. We have the very latest on the search efforts at the top of clickorlando.com.
Breaking news and a live look now at our nation's capital. This is the Senate at work as they debate a short-term fix to avoid a government shutdown. The House just approved an extension that'll keep agencies running through March 8th. That's next Friday. This is the fourth short-term extension in recent months. The Senate is set to vote next, possibly any minute now.
We're learning more about a shootout in an Orlando neighborhood that left one man dead and 6 others hurt, potentially linked to a fight over a car. Orlando police were called to the scene in the Rosemont neighborhood around 11 last night in the area of Iron Wedge Drive. That's just off South Lake Orlando Parkway near John Young Parkway in OBT. News 6's Brian Didlake joins us live with the latest on this investigation. Brian.
Lisa, this shooting was a shock for many people we spoke to. 7 people don't typically get shot in any neighborhood at one time, and neighbors say certainly not here. Following me real quick, you can still see the impact of that shooting here, where we see bullet holes in a garage. One person did die from this shooting. Orlando police say right now they are still trying to sort all of this out. And now the shooting is believed to be isolated and targeted. Police say right now they are still in the process of sorting out the roles of those injured and figuring out who pulled the trigger. Once we learn more information about this shooting, we'll get back to you on air and online. But for right now, we're live here in Rosemont. Brian Ditlake getting results. News 6.
Brian, thank you. Both President Biden and former President Trump are at the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas holding dueling events about immigration.
A record number of migrants were apprehended at the border last year, and new polling finds immigration is the #1 issue for Americans. Ed O'Keefe has the latest from Brownsville, Texas. And we've been telling you how Governor Ron DeSantis has been sending Florida Highway Patrol troopers to Texas to help combat illegal immigration. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest traveled to Eagle Pass earlier this month, where former President Trump is actually touring today, to see what Florida troopers are doing there. You can see his entire investigation at clickorlando.com/investigators. Well, alligators can be found all over Florida, but there are only a few places where you can find one on a plate.
All right, still ahead, we look at one of the top trending stories on clickorlando.com, answering your biggest questions about eating alligator. Tom, have you eaten gator?
I have. I don't prefer it, though. Do you?
No.
No, it's not my favorite. Hey, here's satellite and radar together. A lot of cloud cover with our stationary front now that's losing its mojo. I'll be back to pinpoint some activity like this that's coming your way for the weekend.
But first, a little known oasis on the rural side of 32825. WKMG hits the road in East Orange County to check out some family-owned stables. You're watching News 6 at 4. Getting results. We'll be right back. During the break, we are streaming live on Facebook. Search Lisa Bell News on Facebook right now.
News 6 Insider is sponsored by Orange County Library System.
You need to know more than if it's going to rain every day. You need to know if the roads are safe. Will you be able to pick up the kids? Can you make it to work or even finish your shift? When weather impacts us like that, we call it inconvenient weather. It inconveniences our everyday lives, our safety, our routines. That is why we're dedicated to accurately pinpointing inconvenient weather so you know how it will impact you and your family, right down to the minute, helping you navigate your day. That's how we get results for you.
Pin your best moments now when you download our updated News 6 app. Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, Ginger Gadsden, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
I was at Don Julio's this morning.
Were you?
It is fantastic. He opened up there in 2014 and has since grown to more than 10 locations across Central Florida, 10 restaurants, with 400 employees. And he has created his own tequila after his mom and gave me a bottle of that. So feel free to come on over this weekend for some margaritas.
Wow, you didn't bring back chips for us because I saw them on the table.
Well, I felt like I couldn't crack open the tequila in the newsroom just yet.
That is the right answer to say on TV.
But it's a great spot. It's a great spot.
I can't wait.
And Don Julio's really has become an institution. The owner there, Florencio, he has really invested in that community and helped a lot of people in that community, which is wonderful.
Can't wait to get out there and explore it for ourselves. All right, Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells joins us now. Tom, have you been to a Don Julio's?
No, have not. And apparently,
you're missing out.
Lisa keeps it all to herself. Just say it. Here's live with the radar right now. We've been watching a few little. I walked in the mist this morning, so some of these are making it to the ground, even though they don't look super impressive. Some of you have picked up little pockets of rain here in the last several hours. Again, it's not a washout, not even raining very heavily. Here's downtown Orlando, a lot of grayness though, even though we haven't chilled out much. The front got here, look, the wind has shifted. No longer from the south to the southwest, it's from the north, northeast at about 16 miles per hour. So with that much cloud cover, that much wind, a little bite to it. A little bit. Here's about Dora right now. What's the temp there? 75. Wind from the north at 10 miles per hour and no active rain there either. Here's the port, 75 degrees there, and even as far south as Port Canaveral on the Launch Credit Union camera, that wind is from the north at 10. So the front has pushed its way all the way through. We're getting ready to head into daylight savings times on March 10th. Can you believe it? Daylight savings time is back. So we don't have to listen to anyone complain about it being dark so early anymore for at least, 5 or 6 months till you complain again. Sunrise as of March 10th. March 11th is going to be 7:40 in the morning and sunset at 7:30. Right now it goes down about, 6:30, 6:28 in there, that range. All about to change in the next week. Temperature readings right now 60s and 70s all over. Wind support from the north or the northeast or the northwest, depending on where you are. Even though we cooled down a little bit, look at these overnight lows for the week ahead. They're not super cold, are they? No, they're not. They're pretty moderate. Here's the deal right now. There's your front. Right now, pushing south of Orlando, but it's gone stationary. It's just diffuse right across the area. And all the moisture's riding what used to be the frontal boundary, moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. So our rain chances for Bike Week are up to about 40% for Saturday and Sunday. And again, not a washout, but you will be dodging scattered showers, so have the rain gear handy. Here's 10 o'clock tonight. Here we go around till tomorrow morning. You see little pockets of rain coming in along the coast, being pushed in here right along the frontal boundary. Here's Friday, 7 p.m. Here's Daytona Beach. Close, scattered showers. Again, not a torrential downpour, not a wasted weekend. Here's Saturday morning at 9 a.m., some light rain coming in, and then several hours of clear, good weather for riding, all the events. But you will have to pay attention and keep an eye on the sky because scattered showers are going to be here through the weekend. Lows tonight, still mild, down to 61 in Sanford, 57 Gainesville, 65 at the Cape. Here in Orlando, 63. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
Isolated showers tonight and tomorrow. Rain chances 20%. The daytime high tomorrow in the low 80s. So we're not cooling out much. No. 82 is your high on Friday, 81 Saturday, 80 on Sunday. And those rain chances are pesky, but they do stick around.
All right, Tom, thank you. Sticking to a low-carb diet can put a limit on your meat options.
Yeah, but there is a protein you probably have not considered that's both lean and some would say tasty. Our ClickOrlando.com team found out where to get the best gator in town, from nuggets to jerky.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
What does it mean to you to be a true Floridian? Well, some might say you are not a real resident until you've tried a plate of Florida's state reptile.
Get your hand out of that gator's mouth. And that had the ClickOrlando.com team wondering, do gators taste good? So before we answer that question, here are some things you should know. Experts say gator meat is low in fat and cholesterol, but high in protein, making it ideal for low-carb diets. It usually has a mild flavor and can be used in place of veal, chicken, and most seafood.
So over on the St. Johns River in West Brevard County, Lone Cabbage Fish Camp is a great spot to try some fried gator tail. It's a restaurant and airboat business located right off State Road 520 in Cocoa. Now, if you want to buy the meat yourself and try cooking it at home, you'll need to go to a specialty grocery store like Wild Fork. They have a couple of locations in Central Florida. And how about some gator jerky? There's a place in Kissimmee called Beef Jerky Experience that sells different flavors of alligator sticks and alligator jerky. They will even ship it to your house. Our web producer, Anthony Talcott, posted a whole list of places where you can find gator snacks in Central Florida. Just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen. That'll take you to the full story at ClickOrlando.com. Ginger, have you had gator?
I haven't had any, and I don't plan on trying any,
okay.
But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, we have our top stories coming up, including a big break in a Volusia County cold case.
Detectives here in Volusia believe they have found the remains of a girl who's been missing for 20 years. I'm Molly Reed. Coming at 4:30, I'll tell you how they found them and where the suspect is today.
News 6 at 4 continues next. Stay with us.
When every minute matters, turn to News 6 for breaking news. Live with ClickOrlando.com and streaming on News 6 Plus. This is News 6 at 4:30. Getting results.
Impulsive and ill-planned. Those are the words from the grand jury describing the response from the Osceola County Sheriff's Office when deputies opened fire in a busy Target parking lot in 2022.
The grand jury was blunt, that they said that this should have never happened.
One young man died, 2 others were hurt over what started as a potential shoplifting case. This is News 6 at 4:30. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Lisa Bell. Julie is off 2 months after the public grand jury decided not to bring charges against the deputies involved. That same group revealed its findings from that night on April 27th, 2022, outside the retail giant, citing a lack of training and communication from the sheriff's office. News 6's Emily McLeod joins us now live with more on this. Emily.
This is the first use of force case to come before a grand jury ever since State Attorney Andrew Bain made that policy change back in September. Now, right here in my hand, these are the findings from that grand jury that were released by Bain's office earlier today. The attorney representing these families, Martin E. James, says everything that's in these findings has supported what they've been saying about this case. Now, since the shooting happened, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office did make some changes to the vehicle blocking policy, like taking certain risk factors into consideration before deciding to do a vehicle block or determining what kind of offense would warrant doing a vehicle block. Now, we also reached out to the Sheriff's Office to ask why Sheriff Lopez did not testify. We're still waiting for an answer on that question specifically. For now, reporting live in Osceola County, I'm Emily McLeod, getting results News 6.
Emily, thank you. Now to the huge break in the mysterious disappearance of a Volusia County teenager from 2 decades ago. Just yesterday, the Sheriff's Office revealed they believe they found the remains of 16-year-old Autumn McClure after she vanished some 20 years ago. Detectives say they found the remains buried in Ormond Beach, and they believe a man killed her. News 6's Molly Reed spoke with the detectives about their suspect and how they finally found out what happened.
Well, more records from the grand jury investigation into disgraced billionaire Jeffrey Epstein will soon be made public. Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill today authorizing the release of the sealed documents relating to Epstein's 2006 sexual abuse case. Palm Beach police investigated him for sexually abusing minors. Despite recommending multiple felonies, the case went to a grand jury, and he was sentenced to 18 months in jail.
And I know there was a lot of questions about what happened down here. How did you end up with this situation where you had basically a sweetheart deal? And then, of course, it did lead to this bubbling back up at the end of last decade. But the reality is the investigation was largely stymied because you didn't have access to the grand jury material.
Epstein was eventually arrested again and died by suicide while awaiting trial in 2019. The documents will be authorized to be released when the law takes effect on July 1st.
We have breaking news now. One of our top stories. Orlando police just announced an arrest in last night's mass shooting that happened in the Rosemont area. Wayne Grant Jr. is charged with aggravated battery. 7 people were shot. 1 person died. We're gathering new information about the arrest. Look for more details coming up on News 6 at 5 o'clock.
Turning to a live look now at the big board, a roller coaster day, but the Dow ended in the green after a new report on inflation. That report is closely watched by economists and the Federal Reserve. It shows inflation is slowly easing and consumer habits are changing.
Danya Bacchus has a look inside those numbers.
Well, Florida is in for another celestial treat.
Yeah, the best way to watch solar eclipse this spring, that's still ahead. Plus,
Hi there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. We are on the road to Lockheed Martin in East Orange County. Today we're talking about how they help pilots interact with the weather. And I'm gonna fly.
that looks cool. A special episode of Talk to Tom featuring a state-of-the-art simulator designed right in our own backyard. You're watching News 6 at 4:30 on a Thursday. Getting results. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news is sponsored by your Central Florida Honda dealers.
It hasn't been done in a while.
You're talking about taking our newscast on the road.
Live. I'm in.
Pack it up. It's all going on the road.
Do we just put the desk on a truck or something?
So what's the plan?
To help our communities, we need to be where they are, listening to them.
Whatever it takes.
But a helicopter?
Yeah.
Live with Lisa Bell, Julie Broughton, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells. You're watching WKMG, getting results at 4 p.m.
All right. We do have some scattered showers on radar right now. Most of the rain activity has not been super heavy, but some of these have held together long enough to make it across the interior. It rained a little bit at Casa de Soros today. I'm telling you, at 9 a.m., I had some mist coming down. I did. 76 degrees right now in Orlando on the Orlando light Orlando camera. Temperature's going to drop down into the 60s. So even though the front came through, it's not going to be that cool. Coming up 9 days from now, it'll be time to change those clocks, and we're going to spring forward and gain our hour back. Temperatures all across the region right now still in the 60s and 70s, and it's still plenty blustery. High pressure totally in control to the north. Our front came in, has gone stationary south of us. The big news is all of this moisture back out here to the west, all of that's going to ride our dying frontal boundary right into your backyard, which means rain for bike week. Not a washout. This is not the Daytona 500 weekend kind of rain, but scattered showers around starting as early as the day tomorrow. You see the rain trying to come in. Lows tonight, 50s and 60s. The overnight low in Orlando is 63. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
Daytime high tomorrow makes it back into the low 80s with a 20% chance of rain. Here's your 7-day outlook. 82 tomorrow, 81 Saturday, 80 on Sunday, and rain chances are here to stay for as far as we can see.
All right, Tom, thank you. Well, now is the time to dig up those special solar eclipse glasses from last year. On Monday, April 8th, Florida will have a chance to see a partial solar eclipse. It'll be different from the last time, though, when the moon created a ring of fire around the moon. This time, the moon will completely block out the sun and bring complete darkness in the middle of the afternoon. That's going to freak everybody out, but only for those living in the path of totality.
Now, if you're in Florida, you get about 60%. Everybody else is going to see kind of that Pac-Man, I like to call it, where the moon is taking a bite out of the sun. So you need to keep the eclipse glasses on. That is the part there that is critical.
Now, if you can scan the QR code on the bottom left corner, you can see Jonathan's full explainer on clickorlando.com and his step-by-step instructions on how to build your own viewing device. I got some from Amazon for the 27 solar eclipse, and then they were recalled.
But your vision is okay. You didn't burn a hole in your eyes.
I did not.
That's good.
I didn't use those.
Yeah, be careful with that. Well, there are not many people who can say they have a digital aerospace training simulator in their backyard.
But in East Orange County, they have just that. It's where WKMG hits the road this week at Lockheed Martin's Innovation Demonstration Center. Tom.
I checked out the latest technology for training pilots and found out their simulator is being used for more than just military practice. My latest episode of Talk to Tom takes us to the 32825 zip code. Check it out. I said I was Captain Sully. He did not.
Yeah. This is what my boys do every time the plane touches down. That was amazing. It looked like you were really in a cockpit.
Well, it doesn't. It's not over your head, but when you're sitting there, it's kind of intense. As I said in the show, in that interview with him, I played with Flight Sim at home years ago. You know, when Flight Sim was new, and I had a joystick to play with and fly and learn how to fly. But that was really crazy fun and different. And the one I was in was the Air Force Edition.
Yeah.
And then when I got ready to take off the second time, it lifted straight up like a hovercraft. And I went, hey, that was different. We just hovered up and took off. And he went, oh yeah, you're flying the Marine Edition now. So the Marines have one that can hover up and take off. That's the Air Force Edition. I loved it. It was great. It was so much fun. One of the most interesting things I've done is
I remember when you came back, you could not stop talking about it. I mean, no offense, but it was interesting. And just watching that now,
I was like, hey, guess what I did?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty
Made me feel like a little boy again.
Does the seat kind of move too?
Yeah, it shakes a little bit with you. You hear some noise.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
All right.
Fantastic.
I learned lots.
Great job.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Tom. Yep. All right, so head over to News 6 Plus to watch the whole episode and stream all the Talk to Toms you want for free on your smart TV. All right, Matt Austin joins us now with what's next at 5.
Hey, a playful new land is coming to Universal Orlando. What families can expect from DreamWorks Land and when it will open. Plus, she says she has never missed a mortgage payment, but she was recently hit with a delinquent notice. Where did her money go? Mike Holfeld gets results.